Like Mr. Bagaya said, the writing is on the wall, and there is no near zero revenue at the moment. So there is no questions that the current teams that exists will get recalibrated, rescaled, redeployed to a large extent. And what was fit yesterday, or yesterday's fat, is what I'd want to say. And organizations are going to get leaner. That does mean that we are going to lose colleagues, and I have lost colleagues in our case who we've worked with. As an organization, we've tried to do it in the most human way. We haven't done Zoom calls and announced it. We've done one-on-one calls. We've tried to make it more personal. We've gone above and beyond when it comes to the packages that we could offer them, and they've been much more than the statutory requirement. What we've also done is we are helping build colleagues who have lost or jobs that have been eliminated, because it's not really been the individual, but the role that has been eliminated, or functions. And most international brands have actually eliminated functions and not individuals. We at Wyndham have actually worked very, very hard with multiple consultants to push those CVs out. We've actually paid for the building the CVs, building a social presence for the colleagues that we've lost. And we've also tied up and continue to tie up in different countries with hospitals, with retail outlets who have a requirement at multiple levels. And we are trying to find different avenues for these individuals to get a job. It is tough, but we've tried to make sure for the colleagues that also stay back, it's extremely important to make sure that their emotional and physical well-being is taken care of, because it's not easy for both sides. And that's something that I think all organizations need to recognize, and us, we need to just push that forward a little bit more and make sure that the expectations are met on both sides. But just before I answer that, Mr. Keswani, on the COVID piece, I'd like you, whenever you have the time, to just speak about your experience at Lemon Tree, because Lemon Tree has been one of the largest contributors in terms of number of rooms in this business in the last 3 months. And what's the Lemon Tree experience been? I think it's going to be very enriching for the listeners. Coming back to your question on what Wyndham's been doing. So Wyndham has 9,300 hotels worldwide, of course, 6,000 plus hotels in the US, and 96% of that portfolio has actually remained open in the last 3 months. So US really didn't close down as much as we perceived it to be closing down. I know my colleagues in the US have been complaining of full flights from New York to Atlanta and so on and so forth. So of course the lockdown wasn't as effective as we'd like to believe that it was. That said, what we are looking at, and most international brands are looking at, is the keyless entry, the contactless check-in, the QR menu in the restaurants, and that is where technology is really evolving in a frugal way, if I can say that. And every organization is looking to spend in technology, but spend it frugally with the best partners. So that's really where Wyndham is going. I can tell you, we've already had some green shoots of success with our sister concern, which is Wyndham Destination, formerly known as RCI. So Wyndham Destination last week has actually started curbside check-ins. So you actually don't even come to the reception counter. You get your stuff right in your car and you go straight to the room. So, but those are more resorty hotels. Will it come to business hotels? Yes. That said, and I agree with what most of the panelists said, and Sanjay, that we are in the human business, and we like social interaction. So are we going to move away from complete staffing? That really won't happen. But yes, the numbers, like I said, will definitely get redeployed. So that's really what's happening on the design space. Have we already started evolving our brands to pre-post-COVID period? I think that's slightly early. I truly believe, and these are my personal comments, once the vaccine is in the next 18, 24, 30 months, whenever that is, and most of us are vaccinated in whichever fashion, we're going to go back to doing business as normal. I mean, I would love to come and have a cup of chai with you.
You can do that to the moment we open. It's still open.
Yeah, but I truly believe that, you know, we'd like to give each other a hug rather than just namastes. I think I'll answer this a little differently. The domestic flights have started in the country, and if an organization was an airline right now, or a flight, I think each organization is actually trying to change the crew or rebuild while in mid-air. And I think, you know, it's only perseverance and resilience that is going to help us as human beings. This too shall pass. So I mean, it's slightly philosophical for the answer, but that's what I would like to say here. Could I just add on, every brand is actually a clean brand and a hygienic brand. I can't agree more. It has to be more visual cues. It's like you walking into a McDonald's, and McDonald's as one of the SOPs actually has a resource mopping the public areas of their restaurants 20 or at least the hours of the operation. And that's a visual cue. So when you walk into McDonald's, you think it's a hygienic and clean place.
Correct.
And it's not that hotels weren't doing it. They've always been doing it. It's just that we need to do it more from a visual perspective.